Hey guys, I'd like to introduce you to Eric Maruschak. He's been doing our huge chalk drawing this con and at many cons before it. So, how's it been?
It has been tough on me, tough on the back, tough on the fingers. They're all raw. I probably can't see it from that distance, but they're pretty beat
black
up.
too.
Yeah, well, that's something. It takes about a week after a show for the chalk to really all come off. But it's been a good show though. It's been a lot of people back there coming by seeing the Peas. They got me back in Artist Alley, so I like it because for one of the first times I'm back with all the artists, and it's been great to get all the people coming back there and seeing me, and it's been a great show. I've had a good time.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the piece you did today?
Yeah, actually, the two guests of honor at the show are Joe Madureira. Excuse me. Joe's over there signing Joe Madureira. Forgive me. The two guests of honor, you're seeing it right on screen right now, are Joe Quesada and Jim Lee. Joe Quesada being Marvel and Jim Lee doing DC. So what they asked me to do was they had this image right here of Batman and Spider-Man. Joe Quesada had drawn the Spider-Man, Jim Lee had drawn the Batman, and it was a combo cover they had. So they said, we've got this artwork, can you recreate this, because they're the guests of honor? And I said, sure, I'll give it a shot. So the only thing that I had to do was, and Joe, if you see this video, I'm sorry I had to alter your artwork just a little bit. His hands at the top, Spider-Man's hands, he was originally hanging from the Wizard logo of their magazine, the cover. So I had to tweak it and put the webbing in you saw, so he was actually hanging from a web. So I tweaked it a little bit, but other than that, exact copy, almost line for line of their original artwork.
Now, do you do every bit of this artwork? You do the line art and the coloring?
I do everything. I even draw the grid lines on the paper. It's not a pre-gridded paper. So from start to finish, I draw a grid, I draw the sketch of the original piece. I don't use a projector. I don't trace. It's all done by using the grid system, where you draw a little grid on your little piece, a big grid on your big piece. And as everyone has learned in their art classes back in like 8th, 9th grade, that system works fantastic. And I redraw it from there. The drawing this time took around 5.5 hours. And that was just the sketch. Coming to the show, then I start coloring. That takes another 18, 20 hours or whatever it ends up being. I think my total this show that I was figuring from very start of the sketch to finished piece is around 23 hours this time.
So how big is that exactly, full measurements?
This is the size I do most pieces. It's a 9 feet wide by around 14 feet tall. The height can vary depending on the proportions of the piece, but on average they're 9 feet wide. That's because it's actually 3 rolls of paper seamed together that I seam on the back, and since each roll is 36 inches wide, it ends up being 9 feet. So I always base that measurement as the width, and then whatever the height of their piece is, that's what I do.
See, now I want this. I want to take it home. Can I take it home?
Yeah, sure, you can have it. I'll give it to you.
No, you have to. I was asking you before if you were getting any money for these, and you were telling me.
Yeah, I was telling everyone the same thing. I don't sell them to anybody. They have a tendency to smudge really, really easily. There's a shot of the finished piece right there, actually, which you can finally see a good angle of it. But it's all chalk, just like you're seeing there. Smudges with your fingers, blends with your fingers. So that stuff is too malleable. It'll smudge too easily, even with a spray fixative, for me to feel good selling it to anyone. So when the shows are over, I usually take these things home with me. They end up being stored. However, once in a while, the company that brought me really wants the piece. So I actually just did the New York Anime Festival three weeks ago, and the company that brought me wanted that piece I did. So we sprayed it with a fixative, rolled it up. They actually put it on a truck, took it back to their offices in Dallas, and unrolled it, and it held up from what I hear. They've got it displayed in their offices back in, I think it's Dallas, maybe it's somewhere in Texas. And so they can preserve if you're really careful with them, but to move a 9-foot wide piece of anything is a logistical challenge, and if you want to take it flat, it's almost impossible. So as a matter of principle, I don't sell them. I don't feel good about anyone buying something that will immediately start degrading on them. And I have no way of knowing how long it's going to stay on the paper. I've never really unrolled one of the really old ones to see what they look like, and I have a tendency to believe that since it's not like an archival paper, the chalk probably slowly but surely works its way off over time. So.
See, I think the chat is interested too, because now they're trying to give you strategies. They want to know if you can lacquer over it.
I've thought of almost everything you can think of, and the best thing that I've found so far is hairspray.
Yeah?
A big can of Aquanet will hold this better than most art fixatives I've bought. Now, just today, because I was back in Artist Alley, I had a number of artists coming up to me, throwing names at me as some other things. So there are some things I may not know about that I'm willing to try. I'm going to do some practice with it over kind of my winter hiatus here, because I don't have any more shows this year. So I'm going to lay some paper out, I'm going to do some chalk, I'm going to do some spray on it, and kind of kind of practice with it and see what happens. Oh, I see they're showing my website here. Oh, right there's the that's the video. That's the unveiling they did of the chalk art in their offices, and like I said, it held up. So this is my website, pepperinc.com. If you're interested in what I do, it's pepperinc.com. It's right there on the screen, and so it kind of held up. And I've tried many things. If anyone is throwing me advice, remember it can't be liquid based. Any liquid will just instantly make the chalk run. It has to be something that can kind of spray and settle onto the piece. So I've tried many things to preserve it. What I really think I need to do is find a different surface to work on, like canvas. And I think it would get more into the pores and fibers of the canvas and last longer.
And how many of these have you done? I saw outside the chalk art, you had pictures of all the chalk art you've done everywhere. I've seen you at a ton of conventions.
Yeah, I've been hitting a lot of them lately, and it seems like lately, what was my last count? I'm somewhere in the 40s. I've done over 30 or 40 pieces now. I haven't done a total, actually. It's funny to think. I average about 8 a year, but that's conventions. I also hit up some art festivals, some art walks. I do some on the street for Earth Fest. I've had 2 years in a row. A group has asked me to come do a piece at their Earth Fest celebration. So you throw all those in, I've got over 40.
And where are you based out of?
Upstate New York. It's about 3 hours from here. It's a town called Binghamton, New York. It's about an hour south of Syracuse. And apart from me, there's not a whole lot there. So if you're going to come to visit, I'm about the only reason you want to go.
Well, I'm pretty sure UFrag TV is going to be hitting you up soon to do something. If you take a note of our logo there.
Oh yeah, we could do that. I think I can make that logo, a nice 14 feet wide, do something gigantic, and then we could hang it, and then everyone would see it.
That would be great. If you can give us a way to contact you again, and for everyone else who wants to get a giant chalk drawing of Batman and Spider-Man.
Okay, here we go. Ready? This is the tech stuff. I'm on Twitter. That's Pepper Inc. on Twitter, PEPPERINK. There's my website right there, which is pepperinc.com. I'm also on Facebook, and you can find me there by just going to my website, and you click on the little Facebook logo, and I think it links right to me. I'm also on MySpace, although I've noticed not a lot of people finding me on MySpace lately. It seems like everyone's going to the Facebook group, but I'm there too. And pretty much just do a Google search for comic book chalk art, and you're going to find stuff I've done. And that's one of the easiest ways to find me if you can't remember the Twitter, the website, my last name, the name of the conventions I've been at, whatever. You can find me. It's pretty easy to find me now.
Well, that's great. I'm a big fan of your art, and thank you for coming to talk to me today.
Not a problem. I'll get a little chalk on you there. Hope you don't mind.
That's totally fine. All right, thanks so much, and I'm sending it back to you guys, Shane.